Hey guys, pop. Hi guys, look. I know normally I would pop myself in at this moment, especially for the last chapter, to do a review. But since the fight is still ongoing, I think it's better if I just hide out here and just let the story play for a bit. See you later. Have the chapter, guys. Chapter 7. Yasaki was looking through a dark tunnel. How many times had she fallen into this pit? And each time it felt like she fell deeper. She was going to fall so hard she'd never climb out. I'm going to die. And that means Chibiusa will die. Our future will die. Kisaki, you idiot. But Chibiusa would have died anyway, wouldn't she have? I can't do it. She was wrong. I wasn't strong enough. I said I would protect everyone. Why? Where are they? There was a hand holding her up. A warm, strong hand, keeping her from falling into the pit completely. A voice was echoing in her head. Sailor Moon, listen to me. I know you could do this. You can survive without your crystal. You're an extraordinary person who is able to use the energy of a soul to heal others. Usually it is your own bright soul you use, but your friends, I saw them give you their power to help you and heal you. Let me take the place of your friends. I will give you my power. Use it to win. Let's do this together. So, Power of Love or Moon Revenge? Me, I am playing the Power of Love so hard in my head right now. And if I was positive, I could actually start playing it in the background without getting hit by a copyright bot. I would totally tell my little brother editor to do it. She gripped the hand, holding to her life tightly. The silver crystal was something that had been passed down to her from her mother in her past life, but had become a part of her. It had changed to be her power in her core, but it had once been her mother's power, and someday it would be Chibiusa's power. People passed on their strength and supported each other with it. Even when her strength was taken, she still had the strength of others. She was strong because her friends were strong, and in turn she could give them her strength. It was iron wrapped in velvet, a grip that both caressed and pulled her from death. She could feel the power flowing into her. It made her insides feel hot and her eyes feel bright. It felt to her like the strength of the earth, the same strength she had loved since her past life, when it had drawn her down from the moon with its magnetic, slowly turning pull. The solid strength of the rock and soil, the energy of the creatures in it, including all who she loved. The room came back into focus. There was chaos, looming gray and massive. She could barely see Dr. Poison under it all anymore. How? How is she still alive? How is she still standing? What are you? You! Let go of her. Right now! The chaos creature reached to use the silver crystal that had turned dark on its power, but Yusaki used the power of her partner to draw it towards her with the wave of her hand. She reached past it, towards the thing that had once been Dr. Poison. No. No. Don't you touch me! Don't you! Yusagi gently grabbed the creature's hand. It was like a dream replaying as light snaked up her opponent's arm from where their fingers interlocked, and the darkness shattered off Dr. Poison like an eggshell, breaking to reveal a wet and helpless chick. The entire room seemed to scream as the black hands receded, and the silver crystal burst with white light, and the remnants of the darkness disintegrated in the air. Most of it entered Yusagi and her friends, but not, Yusagi felt, more than they could handle. It was like Wonder Woman had said. There was darkness in everyone, but everyone had a shining star as well. The room was now a clean silver and white lab. Dr. Poison was sprawled on the floor, pale and unconscious. Her mouth was actually slack. Sensei stirred and opened her eyes, as did Steve, Mamoru, and Tomoe. Chibiusa was solid again. Warm tears flowed down Yusagi's cheek as the silver crystal rested in her palm. She then felt the hand she was holding go limp. Diana! Steve rushed forward as Yusagi looked beside her in horror. Wonder Woman had given her the power to survive without her heart, and the power to retrieve it and save everyone. It was far more power than a single life should have been able to give, and when a life was used up, the woman slumped to the floor, her skin the color and consistency of wet paper. Her eyes fluttering, Usagi could feel the woman's pulse slowing in her fingers. Good up, Sailor Moon. Normally in these type of crossovers, it's Usagi or one of the Senshi that dies a horrible death. Boo! Diana, no! Hang on! Steve cried. Mina! Tasuke! Usagi yelled. All the women Usagi depended on came forward and locked hands around her, their faces taut as their symbols glowed on their foreheads, each shining a different color. It was always almost overpowering, channeling all these different guardians and the planets they represented. She felt like she was both burning in flame and drowning in seawater, like she was both being frozen into place and electrified by lightning, like she was both dead and reborn, tossed by a fierce wind, written firmly in one place that was beyond time. She could feel both her future and past. She always felt like she couldn't handle their might, that she would explode with their power. But they gave her strength to handle it by being beside her, and she felt some of that strength Diana had given her still remained. Among all these other planets, and the goddesses she called her friends, was the strength of the Earth Goddess. It was an honest, unwavering strength, unyielding as rock, but rich as new soil. And then there was her own power and strength. The power Wonder Woman and her friends always saw Usagi, even when she herself didn't feel it. The soft, warm silver light that washed over everything and renewed it. The color slowly returned to Diana's face. Her eyes fluttered open as she sat up, looking around a bit groggily. Well, the room looks much nicer now. How are we doing? Did we manage to spread some love and justice? Usagi laughed and fell to her knees, flinging her arms around the other woman. We did! Of course we did. We said we would. And we always keep our promises. Diana hugged her back. In the blink of the eyes, Usagi felt like the entire room had descended upon them. She couldn't even tell who was among the jumble of arms and legs and laughter that was hugging and crying and loving. All she knew that was completely stuck in the mass of people, and there was no way out. But that was okay. She was right where she belonged. You're seriously worried to erase me from everything you messed up? Chibiusa scowled at Usagi as he rolled on Mamoru's shoulder, her arms crossed loosely around his neck. As soon as you do that, face it, you're not gonna get rid of me that easily. You're stuck with me. Don't I know it? Usagi grumbled, glaring at the girl playing with her straw. Isn't 13 a little old to be hanging on to Mama-chan like that? Chibiusa stuck at her tongue. Being too old never stopped you. How do you know I'm 13? Your chest is starting to grow. Barely. Chibiusa turned beet red. How dare you say that in front of Mama-chan? How dare you say that in front of me? No. Right? No. You have to deal with him eventually. I'm just preparing him, Usagi said sagely. Mama restrained Chibiusa from lunging at Usagi for a righteous hair pulling. That's enough, you two. He sighed and gave Usagi a hesitant smile. It's the same with me, you know. You're stuck with me, too. Usagi smiled a little blush. It's more the other way around. Do whatever you want. You can either go abroad or die again. I'll make sure that won't keep us apart. Mamoru laughed. I'll pass on that. I'm kind of soured on overseas travel for the time being. Chibiusa sniffled. You believe, Mama-chan. You have to steal your pickup lines from me. You should be reprimanding her, not getting all mushy. You little monster. Usagi leaned forward and pulled her pigtails. Squealing, Chibiusa returned the favor. Mamoru rolled his eyes. Well, if you ever do decide to play for Metal again, please feel welcome to stay with me, Diana said. She had been serving the whole conversation and barely keeping back the laughter. Yeah, we can, have a slumber party and braid hair and, all that. Etta chimed in. Steve and Diana had planned to head back to see her in the hospital, Before they could get on the jet, Eda had discharged herself and called demanding they stay in Japan, because meeting them there was the perfect excuse for her to take a much-deserved vacation. Something she insisted they all needed. Now she was sitting cross-legged outside the Hino shrine, for all the world as uncomfortable as it was hanging out with hers, scratching Luna behind the ears. I'm like petting a talking cat from space, she said happily. This is my life. And this is Legendbringer's life. Reviewing really good fanfics while watching the cast have their narration. See? I told you I'd be back after the fight. So, the story. Pretty damn good. I felt like this was a 7-issue story. If you guys know how there was a crossover with the TMNT and Naruto recently, this felt like kind of like that. 7 issues, straight on. Which means that there was a little problem with these 7 issues. I.e., I do wish that there was a lot more interaction with Diana and the other Senshi. I kind of wish we did get to see that fight where Usagi and 1D fought together. But that is a point I want to bring up. I'll get to that. And actually, that's kind of it. I mean, it's hard for me to really think of anything bad when the rest was this good. Seriously, this was a pretty interesting story. Luna made a happy sound that seemed like a cross between a purr and a giggle. She was enjoying her massage so much she wasn't even glaring at Artemis for getting the same treatment from Diana. You know, the white cat looked up at the princess adoringly. We have a daughter named Diana. Did he? Wonder Woman said with a smile. That is you, that's an L. Oh, she hasn't been born yet, Chibiusa called as Usagi gave her a noogie. She's in the 30th century right now. Actually, Chibiusa is probably a problem I should say I think it is. Oh, not because of her annoyance or anything, but I do feel like Chibiusa coming out of the sky at just the right minute was the author kind of going, oh crap, I got no way to save them, what am I going to do? You could almost hear the narrator going, and that would have killed thee, said Senshi, had not the author suddenly had a heart attack and died. It felt a little Deus Ex Machina, is what I'm saying. But it was a nice bit to get the other to get Chibiusa in here. Kind of cute. But it still felt a little much. It's sort of a long story. Mikoto laughed as she stirred her tea. She was sitting alongside Diana and the other girls. I could tell it to you, though, Artemis said eagerly. Oh, please do. But on the subject, I also have a very dear friend who shares her name. The ultimate I know is a great warrior. Oh, is he? She is a woman. Of course she's a woman, Minako pointing to the cat. Artemis is the goddess of the hunt. She smirked at Diana. Reminding him about that always puts him in his place when he tells me I'm acting like a boy. The optimists of my home would applaud you for pointing out the hypocrisy that's always inherent in that sort of shaming, and she would tell you to continue being yourself even, well, my optimist would say especially, it's that self-defiance in our roles that those around you try to keep you in. Wonder Woman smiled. Only she'd probably use far more forceful language. She continued after a second thought. Now there's an Artemis that knows what she's talking about. Minako stuck out her tongue at her cat. Oh, maybe you could bring her here. We could do a photo op. I haven't made that sort of comment in years. Give me a break, Artemis mumbled. Diana scratched behind the ears. Artemis is a wonderful name that should never be restricted by gender. And I personally think it's a very fitting honor you're named after such a stately goddess. Aha! Artemis stuck his little tongue out at Mina in retaliation. Take that, Mina! Yeah, whatever. Can we still do that photo op? Minako-chan, why would you want to do another one after the disaster of the one we just did? Ami moaned, her head in her hands. How was it a disaster? The outfits you tried to get us to wear. Hey, I worked hard on those! Yeah, but you couldn't sew to save your life. Well, you could have helped me! It was a fine effort, Diana said hastily. And I think the article and photos that came from it was a very inspirational message. I really like that Lane Sensei woman you brought over, Ray sighed. She's such a jet-setting career woman. I liked it. I aspire to be. It's so many connections! Minako's eyes sparkled. Well, she would have murdered me if I let anyone else get the interview about what happened. I think Haruka-san was flummoxed when she didn't get flustered by her flirting. Makoto snickered. She seemed pretty disappointed. Well, she was probably trying to get revenge on Michiru-san for earlier, Ami whispered. Yeah, you know what those two are like, Ray says, the others not in agreement. I don't know what we're like. You cute little kittens should enlighten me. Haruka set her hand on her hip. She just entered the grounds of the shrine with Michiru, Setsuna, and Hotaru. The girls screamed at the unexpected arrival, and Diana felt bad for not warning them. Ray and Ami in particular turned red all over. Usagi waved at the family for, Will, what are you guys doing here? Hotaru wanted to see Chibiusa-san, Michiru said. Haruka huffed and looked away. Hotaru ran over to her friend, and Chibiusa let go Usagi's hair to tackle over a hug. Oh, you know, that's one of the things I like about this fic. These character interactions feel genuine. Either from the Senshi actually acting like friends. You guys don't realize how many times I've encountered a bad Sailor Moon fanfic where it just doesn't happen. To Haruka rightfully getting jealous of Diana. I mean, Diana's an Amazon. Every part of this just felt like reading a good comic. But what sticks out to me the most is, well, Diana actually having a sit down with Makoto and Usagi. I'm going to start off with the Usagi bit first, because Makoto's interesting to me. I like her actually having a conversation with Usagi, because this helps them relate a lot. I've always said one of the things that annoys me about comics when it comes to Wonder Woman is that everybody is so focused on making her the blood warrior to focusing on the I am a warrior woman. That is how I'm different from Superman. I'm going to cut people's heads off now. I have no rogues gallery. Please ignore Cheetah and Dr. Poison. It's not that I don't want my Wendy to be a badass. Heavens knows. What I do like would be for Wonder Woman to show more of her open hand part of her. To rely on her lasso and her fists and only use killing as a last resort. I like to remind people that Wonder Woman should respect peace a lot. Like, be a diehard warrior, but still respect the other half of the way things go. Let me put it another way. One of the things that I've always come back to when it comes to MLP is what Lauren Faust said. There is no wrong way to be a woman. You can be like the main six and still be badass little heroes. Just the same should be said of Wonder Woman. We shouldn't sacrifice her kindness just to make sure she's tough. We can have it all with her. I may not have read Absolute Wonder Woman. Who knows? Maybe it's good. But that's how I feel. That's my Wendy. And that's this one. Which brings me over to Makoto and Diana's convo. I was hoping for a conversation like this. Because one of the things that always gets to me about Makoto's backstory, and I understand this is a cultural difference, but one thing I always roll my eyes at is that we keep hearing her backstory as her senpai breaking up with her. And why? Is it because he's a cheating bastard? Oh no. Is it because he was a loser? No. It was purely because she was a rough and tumble Amazon. Oh, God, give me a break. I don't know about that putz, but confidentially, I would love a woman like Makoto. Bakes, kicks ass, and runs a flower shop. So, but I also understand that some guys, mainly in Japan, prefer the girls who are a lot less tough. Because, yeah, sometimes, sadly, toughness does scare people. So I like the idea of Diana actually sitting down with Makoto and telling her this. I feel like this helped gave her a lot more strength. And again, this is why I want to see more from Diana. Yeah, her cutting up the head of Medusa is badass and all, but what about her human side? What about the side that could be a diplomat? What about the side that likes to sit down and help serve a Taco Bell and stuff like that? That's the Wonder Woman I want. Not always this. There's a question on Reddit that asked, what would happen if Wonder Woman was more like our Wonder Woman? I'm not going to say in character because it's an alternate dimension and all that. In Injustice. And all I could think of is if Wonder Woman was anything like our version, there wouldn't be an Injustice. Because if our Wonder Woman was anything like that, the moment Superman turned evil or decided to go, I'm going to be a dictator, our Wonder Woman would be like, no, you won't. And then put a lasso under him and go, yeah, now you'll see right. Sit down. Yes, ma'am. We wouldn't even have a plot. Get over it, Monsieur. Haruka snapped at her girlfriend. Don't be pushy. Ishiro said with a composed snot of air. I was simply wondering if you would be obliged to sign this, Wonder Woman. It would make my friends at our school very happy. So he handed Diana what appeared to be a collection of art, making sure to cover it with her hands as Minako leaned forward, curious. You don't have to open it. Diana was already flipping through it, eyebrows slightly raised. Ah, well, this is unauthorized, but it's far more tasteful and well done than what I'm used to. And seeing young women express the desire freely is always refreshing, so I'll be happy to sign it. Though we'll have some legal issues if we mass market it. Don't worry about that. It's just for our group, Seer said cheerfully as Haruka groaned. Diana signed the book and handed it back. Thank you. Well, we'll be going now, Haruka said grumpily. I'll Haruka call when she's ready. Haruka-san. Diana called before the other woman turned away. I would like to thank all of you for helping save my life back there. I am very grateful, and it was a pleasure knowing you. She stood up and extended her hand. Haruka stared at the hand with narrowed eyes and then slowly took it and shook. Only fair after you protected the princess. No thanks needed. If your talents and careers ever bring to America, feel free to drop by. Mishiro-san, I'm sure your artistic talent would be very much welcome in Washington. We'll see. Haruka steered Mishiro away. Satsuma bowed her head at Diane politely. Thank you for your help. The offer extends to you as well, Satsuma-san. Thank you. As he said, we'll see. Satsuma gave an angry smile and looked at the other two. And you sure you have to leave today, Diane-san? Isagi pouted. I'm afraid so. I have JLA duties back home, and I have to appear at Dr. Poison's trial. Etta and Steve will be here for 2 more days, though, if you wish to see them. Do you still want to play me in a racing game? Hinako said in English to Etta. You bet your life I'll show you like how it's done. Ha! I don't think so. Diana still like communicator buzz. She answered it. Yes? Diana, we need you here. How is it? You could take an hour to say your goodbyes, but try to get here this afternoon. Now that Poise's plague is gone, some others are trying to top her with their own bizarre schemes. Emphasis on trying. Very well. I'll be there. That Batman? Minako leaned forward, her eyes aglow. How did you know? Diana looked at the girl with raised eyebrows. He has a sexy voice! The bubbly girl trilled. Who just said that? Batman said. Oh, he speaks Japanese? Impressive! State of things, Batman. She's a very capable champion of justice. She recently helped save us all. You should be honored to be speaking to her. Huh. Hey, Mr. Batman, can I talk to you about publicly? Click! I'm sorry, he switched it off. Diana informed Mina. Don't take it personally. He's like that. Rumph! Well, I hate that kind of guy anyway. How rude! He's not worth the time of these single girl such as yourself. Diana told her with a smile. Superman is much more personable. I'll have him give you a call to thank you for your hard work. How about that? The other girls covered their ears as Minika's scream practically broke the sound barrier. You're tired to tell me I'm like that guy? Mamoru narrowed his eyes at Steve. You're a tad more sociable. And flashy, I'll give you that. Steve grinned lazily. Yeah, you've managed to get yourself a wonderful family. You live in the moment. Don't drive them away. That's the most important part. I guess you're right, Mamoru said. His arm around Usagi as Tiwi Yusa leaned at his knee. Dad accompanied Diana to her jet. It's nice to see the women around smile and nod politely at her. Once chaos had been defeated, all the infected had awoken with no memory of what transpired. Only the truth of their hearts remained. Hey, look! A pair of boys guffawed, separating themselves from the crowd. They smirked at Makoto, who was leading the pack. It's the lumbering Amazon! Diana stepped forward, and the boys paled, their eyes widening. They both equaled Makoto in height, which meant that Wonder Woman towered over them. They winced even harder as she picked a rock up from the ground and tossed it up and down in her hand. Well, I thank you, Diana said. I do consider this girl to have great strength and the spirit I associate with my people. Does this mean I'm an honorary Amazon now? Makoto put her hands on her head, smiling. Japanese first, Amazonian second, though. Remember that, boys. Yes, we should respect that your strength is entirely yours, no matter where you're from. Should we? Diana squeezed the rock between her thumb and forefinger, shattered it into dust and shards. Yes! Go, Diana! Go inside! The boys ran. Uh, Nick, you can just end this and have Diana give a wink. I'm fine. I'm fine. You can stop right here. Guess they couldn't handle it. Makoto smoothed her skirt. Indeed, you'll have to find someone who can. Someone like my friends, as you said. Makoto bowed her hair at the older woman as he reached the invisible jet. Thank you very much for everything. No, thank you. Diana smiled at them all and shook Makoto's hand. Thank you all for giving me your strength. You reminded me of who I am and why I fight. And in the end, I'd like to thank this Vic for giving me a better look at Diana. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've always loved Wonder Woman. I love watching the Linda Carter Wonder Woman. I do enjoy watching the Zack Snyder film, even though, again, they stuck with the sword. And I also enjoy watching that other Wonder Woman solo film, Sword. And I loved watching her in the Justice League cartoon. She was actually the star of one of my favorite episodes of Justice League Unlimited when they went straight to hell. I but but one thing that always kind of got to me when I was trying to think of the best way to write Wendy was just who was she beyond being the warrior? Because it seems like every time the comic book writers or anybody wanted to adapt her lately, it was just, I'm a bloody Amazon. I kill. Or worse, make her an object of desire. Which is one of the things I hate about Flashpoint and Injustice. Wendy's not a character in either of those. She's just a plot point, a sexual object. She bangs Aquaman in Flashpoint. She becomes the object in Superman's game. Give me a break. A good Wonder Woman should represent women. A good Wonder Woman should feel like the balance between Batman's darkness and Superman's light. A good Wonder Woman should be ready to prove herself in any given situation and not have to rely on her sword all the time. That's just my opinion, but that's how I feel. It was a great honor to meet you. Remember your promise about Superman, Minako said urgently. You had to keep in touch. I could never forget. Thanks a lot for helping me with the idiots, Ray rumbled. You look after them. By the way, Lois was very impressed with you too. She told me she thought that girl would be sure to do something. She had to get an exclusive one day, even outside of superheroics. Well, of course! Ray flushed and puffed out her chest a little. Thank you. Especially all the notes on Themyscirian silence you let me have. Ollie blushed heavily, looking down. Diana squeezed her hand. Those are things I don't even trust the world governments with. But I know a smart and kind girl like you will use it well. Thanks for taking care of me, and especially Yuzuko. Mamoru shook her hand. Take care of yourself and have a good journey. Thank you for your bravery and care. Yusaki-chan and you are very good, deep bonds that warms my heart. Diana couldn't help but chuckle as Mamoru's face went beet red. It's too easy to flare. Just call me again. Take care. She used to bounce on the balls of her feet. Thank you for helping my papa and the princess, Tara said softly. Instead of sharing yourself, Kimi used to flash firmly. Of course, you have both wisdom and courage far beyond most adults. I'm sure you'd both grow to wonderful young ladies. You want to know what would have been funny? If during the scene where Mamoru was losing his star seed and was slowly dying, everybody noticed that even though Mamoru was dying, Chibiusa was fine. Then there would be a pause, and everyone would look at Usagi. I have a sudden realization why Mamoru could die, but Chibiusa would still be fine as long as Usagi was okay. And for those of you who haven't figured it out, take a moment to think of why if a father character died, the mother would be fine. You know what? No, I'm Tracy's gonna let you have that one. That joke was clever. I think that joke was sex. Usagi! Used stuck out her tongue at the older girl. Usagi was too busy bawling to notice. Diana-san! She lunged forward for a hug, and Diana caught her and returned it. No. The great invisible Sailor Moon would be fine without me, Diana said. Yeah, but will you be fine without her? Diana quipped. True. So whenever I'm in country on this business, I'll be sure to visit. If you wish to visit to meet again, I can give you a free trip. You and the rest of your family. Really? Yuzuko, we can't accept that, Mamoru hissed. I want to go! It would be no inconvenience, I have some connections. We have to! Well, fine. Sometime, I guess. As your friends would say. I suppose we'll see. Bye-bye, Wonder Woman! Goodbye, Sailor Moon. You've taught me a lot. Seeking the sisterhood all you share makes me feel much more certain that my own sisters and I will endure. Of course! And you showed me great strength and power of the earth. Oh, don't look jealous, Mama-chan. You're a great power of the earth person, too. It's just that she's the princess of the earth to your prince. And since I'm the princess to your prince, Usagi frowned. I am blessed with the strength of Gaia, the goddess who gave birth to the earth that Mamoru-san represents. We are all united under the wonderful light of the moon, Wonder Woman clarified. Yeah, whatever she said. Diana hugged the warm girl again. You are exactly the kind of young woman this world needs. And you're exactly the kind of older woman it needs. Isagi buried her face in her shoulder. Sorry, that got me. They disengaged the final time, and Diana boarded her plane. As she took off, she saw Usagi running around under her, blaming and laughing. Chibi was running after her while Hotaru giggled. Minako was whistling so loudly that Diana would be able to hear it over the jet engine, even if she was a superhero. And Rei was tugging on her friend's arms, rolling her eyes. Makoto waved, a little more subdued than Usagi, but her grin was wide. Mamoru smiled up at her with his hands in his pockets. Steve and Etta had their hands around each other. Whatever anyone said, as he was with those girls, she felt the fullness of humanity and knew she was a part of it. Dr. Poison had tried to break Diana's trust in herself, in the world, but she had been her own undoing when she had led Diana directly to the people who unflinchingly embodied trust and hope among women, among people, among the world. She loved that she could see the potential of this world in their eyes. It was a world she wanted to live in. Isagi Tsukino was a princess who was a pillar of truth as much as she was. She stood at the center of an unbreakable bond, a princess who had become queen, a princess with the power to shake the world, and she was changing it, and would continue to change it. Okay, now you're making this Sailor Moon fan have a big head and just smiling. As long as there were people like the Sailor Senshi and Tuxedo Common in the world, Diana knew she would always work to protect it and further its potential. And you just had to keep trying and believing. For love and justice. Oh, this is just nice. All the world was waiting for them. Wonder Woman! Da 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 da. All the world is waiting for you, and all the power you can do. Sorry, really love the opening. So yeah, Nick's damn good. No notes, nothing. One down, thousands more to go, guys. See you next time. Oh, and the author's note here says, you may find it cheesy, but look at the source material. I love cheesy bonds of sisterhood and kick-ass ladies and love and justice. Well, I do too. Have you seen some of my stuff?